I think we need to start viewing cryptocurrencies in that broader framework and lens. Today, the truth is the world of digital assets and the world of traditional assets is still very split. And I think inevitably these things will start to merge. And as I said, I think we will start to look at tokenization as a technology layer that really influences how all assets everywhere are issued, tokenized, listed, and traded.
Mr. Henry, I want to ask you, I think when a lot of people think about NFTs, many of them are thinking about GIFs or pieces of digital art. Can you give some examples of these asset-backed tokens that are going to become more and more mainstream and something that people would be able to understand, in a concrete sense?
Absolutely. That's a great question. And I personally have never liked the NFT label because to me, that's a type of technology. We have fungible tokens, right? One of many in a class. We have non-fungible tokens, makes total sense. And the idea of using an NFT to represent assets that are inherently singular in nature, that could be art, it could be, the home that you own or your car title, etc. Again, I think that makes a lot of sense. What I think people need to start drilling into, and actually as individual investors, and I agree, I think with everything that my fellow panelists are saying, but I think as individuals, it's also quite important that we take responsibility for our own investment decisions. And I think it's important to really start by asking three fundamental questions, right? As a very base layer, no matter what asset class you're looking into. Question number one is, who is this counterparty that you're dealing with? The truth is, whenever you make any investment, digital or otherwise, you are interacting with a platform, with a counterparty. I think it's important that you know who they are, how they're licensed, and even just the legal relationship that you have between you and your counterparty. That's number one. Number two, it's very important that when you buy into a asset or a token, you understand, well, what exactly is the nature of this token? Am I buying a token that represents, a share in a company? Am I buying a token that represents ownership in an art piece, for example? What exactly am I getting? I worry that with a lot of NFTs, for example, people sometimes believe that holding a token gives them ownership or legal rights that it may or may not. Right? So the idea of having a token represent ownership in digital art makes total sense. But again, most NFTs don't actually represent that. So I think question number two you need to ask yourself is, what is the actual nature of this token? And then, of course, question number three is, well, what does this underlying asset link to this token? What exactly is that in the first place? So let's say you're coming to a platform like FUSANG and you're buying a token that directly represents equity, great. But hey, what exactly is that company? Is it a good company? Is it a good investment, etc.? And I think it's very important that people ask those three layers: counterparty, the legal nature of the asset, and of course, the underlying asset itself, no matter what kind of technology we apply.